Welcome to the Albuquerque Journal's premier high school sports show, Prep Central, with your host, James Yodice. This show is presented by Western New Mexico University.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Preps Central. I'm James Yodice. I'm the high school sports editor at the Journal. Welcome. Special podcast today in conjunction with the Journal's announcement of our Metro Male and Female Athletes of the Year. We have a special guest in studio here, and I'll introduce him in a second. And there may be a couple of additional podcasts that I'll record before I go on vacation at the end of this week. So I want to get right to it. My guest is our choice for our Metro Male Athlete of the Year for the 2023-24 school year. That is Cam Dyer from La Cueva High School. Cam, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So Cam is our choice this year. Cam quarterbacked La Cueva to the state football championship back in November. They beat Cleveland 35-14. Cam had, I think, about 350 combined passing and rush yards in that game. Cam is also the Gatorade Player of the Year for New Mexico in football. Cam was also an outstanding guard for the La Cueva boys basketball team. In fact, La Cueva got all the way to the semifinals this year at the Pit, was leading Volcano Vista, the number one team, at halftime, largely because of the way Cam played, I thought, before La Cueva made some, Volcano Vista made some adjustments in the second half and came back and won. And then Cam was also part of several events in track and field. He finished third at state in the long jump in Class 5A and ran a couple of relays, 4x1, 4x2.
And then the medley.
And the medley as well. So Cam is a three-sport athlete, one of the best athletes in the state. He is our choice for Metro Athlete of the Year. And we certainly had, as we always do, we had several good options this year. Cam, I thought, had that little extra. And as we sit here and record this podcast, it is Wednesday, June 5th. Last night, Cam announced his decision to attend Arizona State to play football, where he's going to play wide receiver, not quarterback. And we're going to talk about that and a couple of other things here during our podcast. So first of all, welcome. We'll start with the Arizona State decision. Mm-hmm. You certainly had any number of really good options. And as you said, you had, I believe, Houston was in the Final Four. UT San Antonio and UTEP were also in it. Why don't you just tell the viewers what it was about Arizona State? You took a visit there last weekend, and you canceled all your other visits once you got home because, as you told me, you just knew. Mm-hmm. Explain that.
I mean, I'm thankful for all the coaches that recruited me and have helped recruit me in this process. Once I went to Arizona State, it just felt like home. Once I got there, everybody, all the coaches were on me, and they were making sure that I felt that it was home, and they made that real clear, and they made that clear to my family. My family really felt like they're at home, and like I said before, that's very important to me because I want them to be comfortable as well. I just, once I got there, I just felt like home, and once I sat down with the coaches and kept having dinners and went out and just kept having more and more conversations with them, I just felt more and more like I was at home, and something was telling me, this is the decision. This is the right one. So
I always figure it's like when you go shopping for clothes, or when you're an adult, you go shopping for a car or a house. When you find something that you're just like, yeah, this is it. Mm-hmm. You just know. It's hard to explain, but you know it when you see it.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
So you're going to be transitioning to wide receiver, which is a position you played a little bit at La Cueva before you went into the quarterback position. But as I wrote in my story today, Hines Ward, the former NFL wide receiver, a great player for the Steelers for so many years, is Arizona State's wide receivers coach. Why don't you tell our viewers about how they sold you on this and why you felt like this was going to be the right position for you at the next level?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Ward, he was a big piece and part of my decision. I mean, it's hard for any 17-year-old kid to sit down and hear an NFL legend talk about how he believes in you and your talents, and how he thinks that he can help you get to the next level, and how he thinks that you're an NFL talent. I mean, once he said that, and I could see that he saw it and not just, he was just saying words and things like that. That's what really flipped the switch in my head. And my parents really, they took what he was saying, and they really took a lot out of it. And I mean, it's always been my dream to play quarterback at the next level, but my ultimate dream is to play in the NFL. And so once I noticed that it was that path might be better, and that path is the one that I should take, then that's when I really realized that, it doesn't matter what I play at the next level. If my end goal is to play in the NFL, then I got to do what's necessary to get there.
But of course, Arizona State wouldn't really have any substantive film on you at wide receiver. So how do they sell someone like this, in your case, and say, we think you're going to be a good fit at the Division I level?
I mean, pretty much like they said, they saw that I was tall, big, and athletic. They saw that I was fast and had breakaway speed on the football field. They figure that they can coach me, coaching, running routes and catching the football. They figure that that's not going to be that big of an issue to translate to that physical aspect of it. And I actually agree with that because like you said, I mean, I played it my sophomore year. I've played it, growing up in Yaffle. Everybody plays every position growing up in Yaffle and everything. So I don't think it's going to be more of a physical transition, as hard of a physical transition, I should say. I just think it's going to be the way I approach the game more so than anything. And I don't think that it's going to be a challenge. I just think that it's going to be something I have to work through.
So they tell you that they think you might have NFL capability at the receiver position. That's a lot to say to someone who hasn't even finished with his high school career yet. Right. So I don't know how you view this. It seems to me, I mean, I don't want to say that's putting pressure on you, but they're letting you know, look, we think you have this in you. And so you automatically have that in your head, even as you finish your upcoming senior year at La Cueva, where you'll be playing quarterback. Did you view it that as a burden at all, or some unnecessary pressure coming in, or do you kind of embrace that and say, okay, if they believe in me, then it's my job to come in and prove them right? No,
there is no pressure. I mean, I think that I've worked my whole life towards this moment. I don't think there's any better time for me to take this next step. And I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to go out there and show everyone what I'm made of, and not just New Mexico, but the rest of the United States. So I'm ready to go show everybody what I'm capable of. And like I said, there is no pressure because if I put in the work and I continue to do what I'm supposed to do, then I don't think that there's going to be anything that is going to hold me back.
I want to reflect a little bit on La Cueva's championship season. And you and I have already talked about this a little bit. If you go back, La Cueva starts 0-3. One of those is a forfeit loss, and you had a road loss to Centennial. And then there was that road loss to Cleveland, and that was a tough night for you with 4 interceptions. And you and I have talked about this before, being a bit of an origin point. And, yeah, you had a tough night, but I'd be curious to have you explain how you tried to build on that, forget about what happened, and just build on that, knowing, most of the season was still ahead of you.
Yeah, I mean, my big word was just really perseverance. I mean, I had to persevere through everything that was coming at me, and not just me, but my team. We had to find a way to really dig ourselves out the hole and come together as a team and continue to go on our path despite what others thought. I mean, it was tough. I mean, there was nights where I got home and my parents saw the flip side of it. My brothers and my sisters saw the flip side of it. And it was tough. Like, it wasn't an easy thing. I was like, oh, okay, well, let's go do it. No, it was tough. Like, it took, some motivation from my family. And, I'm thankful that we had those experiences, because I don't think that the season wouldn't have been what it was if we wouldn't have had those early on difficulties. So,
what did you feel like you learned about yourself? If we think about those first couple of weeks, you went on the road and played Centennial, a really good team. Mm-hmm. Cleveland had just a terrific defense. You guys struggled with them. We're talking about the regular season game in August now. If you're thinking about your process from the start of the season when you replaced Aiden Armenta at quarterback to where, and we'll get to the end of the season in a minute, but if you think about those early struggles, in particular the Cleveland game, how you grew from that and decided just to, use a tough night like that to become just more determined to be a productive quarterback and just trust in the system.
Yeah, I mean, I think it forced me to be a better leader. I think it really took me through the ringer, and it really, had tried to make me just not believe in myself and try to get me away from the winning characteristics that I was trying to build. And it really did. It really tried to break me. I mean, it was one of those things that I felt like it was like, okay, this is going to make or break you. And, I just try to keep my head down, try to keep working. And we ultimately got through it, and I'm so thankful for it. I think ultimately I learned from myself the type of leader I am. I think that, early on, I try to kind of push some guys in a way that they might not have liked it. And I mean, that's important. Guys got to feel comfortable with you leading, and they got to trust in your leadership. And I had to learn that. I mean, instead of being like, okay, I'm the leader, like, this is my stuff, like, you guys respect me, you have to earn that respect a little bit. And I think that was the biggest thing that I learned about myself and just about, my leadership capabilities. So,
was there any one game, and you guys played a hard schedule, even after the 0-3 start, you turned around, I think your first win, if memory serves, was against Volcano Vista.
Right.
Was there any one game from after that 0-3 start, was there any one game where you felt you would turn the corner at quarterback and you're like, okay, I'm comfortable. I know what they want from me. I know what I expect of myself. Was there any one game the rest of the regular season, Sandia, Farmington, Volcano, any of those games where you just suddenly felt like, and you put it well, where that switch got flipped?
I mean, I wouldn't say there was really one game. Honestly, I felt like as the weeks went by, I gained more confidence, to answer your question. But, I mean, honestly, I always had confidence in myself. I always knew that I could be the player, and even better. I could be even better than I was last year. And I could be a lot better, actually, looking back at the film and everything. But I don't think there's that one game that was like, okay, now I'm like, this is my show.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was just like as the weeks went on, like I gained more confidence, and I trusted in the plan and trusted in the process and everything.
You were telling me an interesting story yesterday about thinking about the championship game against Cleveland, which you guys won 35-14, about keeping the same uniform. Mm-hmm. Tell me how that got started. What were you guys going to wear?
Oh, so
I think you guys wore all white, as you did in the regular season game. But what was the plan to wear on that championship game?
I mean, a couple guys wanted to go white on blue or white on silver, which is what we've worn. We wore it a couple times throughout the regular season and stuff. But it was kind of like 50-50 thing. And me and Mason, we're real big advocates of like, no, like we're gonna go white. Like we're not the same team. Like the uniform has nothing to do with that. And I think. I'm not very superstitious with that stuff, so I don't really believe in that. I believe in the work that you put in, and that's what's gonna carry you. So I mean, we're big advocates of wearing the same uniform and going out there and showing everybody what we could do.
It was your running really throughout the whole playoffs, the championship game against Cleveland and the semifinal game, against Las Cruces. I talk about that part of the evolution because you replaced a quarterback in Aiden Armenta, who was primarily a pocket guy. He could run a little bit, but that really wasn't what he did best. Mm-hmm. And you came in and you're a different type of quarterback altogether, a different type of athlete. And it became clear that you were going to be one of those guys, look, if you break containment, you were capable of busting off an 80-yard run anywhere, anytime. I want to ask you about your contributions in the playoffs. You were mentioning to me that maybe even Cleveland thought you were going to throw the ball more in the championship game than you did, and that proved to be a big bonus for you guys on that Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody saw how we threw the ball week one. I don't remember exactly. I think we threw it over 30 times, which is a pretty fair amount. That's a pretty good amount. So I think everybody kind of adjusted, even Centennial. I mean, they kind of adjusted to more so me passing instead of me running. And I think once I ran, and not even just me, but Cheeto, he started, running in. He started really showing everybody what he can do as well. I think that's kind of when we found ourselves, and when we started feeling confident in what we could do with the ball. And I mean, honestly, I think the run opened up the pass. I mean, honestly, as the games went on, like I said, and we gained confidence week by week, not just me, but our whole team. I think that's what, I mean, like teams wanted to play us. Okay, you guys are going to stop the run. Okay, we're going to go and pass. Okay, you guys want to sit back and drop 8. We're just going to run the ball. I mean, in our old line, I mean, those guys, those guys are that's what truly set the tone and set the stage for me and Cheeto to do what we're supposed to do. Because without those front five, like we wouldn't be able to do what we're capable of doing.
Had your whole group been thinking about playing Cleveland again since the first game?
Oh yeah, no. We after we said the first game, we were in the locker room. We were like, we're going to be back here again. We want these guys again. I mean, we knew that if we were to meet them in the championship, we'd be back at their place because they were at our place the year before. So we knew the setting, we knew the game that we wanted, we knew who was the opponent. We knew everything. We wanted that game. So
as we sit here, it's first week of June. So we're about 8 weeks away or so from first practices for the next season. This is going to be your last season. For those who don't know, Cam is planning to graduate from La Cueva early, so he's going to play football for the Bears this fall. Their season opener is August 23rd at, I believe, Community Stadium. Am I have that right? I think against Volcano Vista, which is a great opener. And then week 2, you're going to Flagstaff to play Pinnacle High from the Phoenix area in sort of a neutral site game, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
So, you guys are going to have that proverbial target, and this is going to be your last go-round at quarterback. Give me your sense about how this summer needs to go and the difficulties that are ahead as you guys think about trying to defend? Cleveland's going to be coming after you guys again. We talked about Las Cruces. That is a really good young team. Volcano's usually strong. Sandia was pretty good last year. So there are a lot of teams lined up out there ready to kind of, push you guys. How do you guys view this?
I mean, we know we have a target on our back. Everybody's going to try and, knock us down. I mean, that's the way it goes. You reach the top of the mountain, everybody's trying to reach that mountain and take you off the top of the mountain and become that top spot and that top guy. Honestly, I think we got to approach it even with the even, I can't think of the word, but we got to, I mean, honestly, none of that matters. I mean, because we're like, even though we're already on the top, we got to approach it like we're not on the top. And to be honest, if I think we do that and I think we don't get in our own way, I think that we'll be very successful.
Was it difficult for you to make the decision to graduate early and give up basketball and track?
Yeah, it was. I mean, basketball was my first sport, actually. I played basketball since I was 3 or 4 years old, so it was very tough. I mean, it was one that me and my family had to really, sit down and really talk about the pros and cons and everything. And ultimately, there was more pros in me graduating early, and so that's why we made the decision that we made. And I mean, like I said earlier, I'm not more. I don't think I could be more ready to make this decision. I've been waiting my whole life for this, so I'm excited.
And I was interested yesterday when I asked you during our interview for my piece on you that's running on Sunday in the Albuquerque Journal, who your role model was. I was actually interested that you said Kobe Bryant. I guess in my head, I was thinking you would say a football player. Right. So why don't you share that? I mean, why Kobe is that guy that sort of unofficial mentor that you had?
Just the way he approaches the game. I mean, and not just the game, but life. I mean, I don't think there's anybody out there with a better mentality than he had. I mean, that's why they say Mamba mentality. I mean, there's no better mentality than that. And I mean, honestly, just like I said, the way he approached life, everything he wanted to do, he did it. And he did it full speed and 100%, and he gave it his all. I mean, I know there's plenty of sayings out there, but I guess the one that resonates with me the most is just, you can rest later. You got to go now. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I approach my life. That's how I try to live my life. So,
tell me about your brother Devin, who's playing college football, and your younger sister Jordan, who is playing basketball for La Cueva. I'm wondering, do all three of you have that same characteristic? Was this a competitive family?
It's probably the most competitive family. Me and my sister, since we're only 11 months apart, we're the ones that kind of tend to butt heads a little bit. My older brother, he's very chill personality and everything. So it's always mainly me and my younger sister going at it, but in a good way. I mean, we've helped each other in ways that I don't know. I didn't even know were even possible. I mean, she's gonna my little sister. She's gonna shock a lot of people, and I keep telling that. And, I mean, even my older brother. I mean, he just transferred to Western New Mexico, and not a lot of people, think that's a good choice or don't believe in him. He's gonna shock a lot of people as well. I mean, my dad. Ultimately, really, my dad is the one that really is why I try to work so hard. I mean, I work so hard for my family, but really my dad, because I just see the countless hours he puts in at work and the such a hardworking man that he is. That really pushes me to be great. So,
what does your dad do?
He's a maintenance director. He works in construction, maintenance director. Okay. So,
I always think that competitiveness among siblings starts with a parental unit, either the mom or the dad. Right. Is that the case here, or did it sort of grow in another way?
Yeah, I mean, it's everyone. It's my mom's very competitive too. Don't sleep on her because she's game.
Yeah, she told me she was a really good athlete in her day.
Yeah. Oh no, she was. She went to New Mexico State with my dad, and that's where they met and everything. She played softball, he played football, and so they both know what it takes to make it to Division I, and they instilled that in us. So I'm very thankful for that.
Do you consider yourself a pretty driven person?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would think all the other stuff aside, good football player, whatever. I think the thing that I want people to remember about me the most is that I'm a hard worker and I'm a leader. I mean, those are the two big things that I want really people to remember about me.
What are your plans academically at Arizona State?
So they have a Barrett Honors program, which is the top honors program in the nation, which really shocked me. I didn't expect that. I mean, because all the things that you hear about ASU, you hear, party school and all that stuff. I mean, they have a really good academic side to things too. So I'm going to enroll in the Barrett Honors program, and really it's just like it's what it sounds like. It's an honors program for students that want to enroll in it and everything, and that are good in the classroom. So that's what I want to do, and I want to graduate with a degree in sports administration. Do
you feel like you'll be able to contribute right away at Arizona State? I mean, I suppose all freshmen say that, but the truth of it is not all of them get to.
Right.
Tell me how you think that process will play out when you get to Tempe.
I think, like I said earlier, it's going to be a process. I mean, obviously, because I'm not playing the position that I'm being recruited as, so it's going to be a process. But I feel like ultimately, like since I'm graduating December, since I know the work I'm going to put in, I feel like I do have a good shot because I'm not going to let anyone outwork me. I can promise you that. So I feel like I'll have a good shot.
What do you feel like you're going to bring to the table at the receiver position? Certainly, you're long, you're athletic. You've got the hops to go. High point a ball. Which of course you have to do regularly. Right. What about the other aspects of the position that you're going to need if you want to prosper?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll be a good route runner as well because I feel like I pay attention to detail very well. So I think I'll be a great route runner. I feel like I'm going to be a good blocker because I'm not scared of going to block anybody or anything like that. And I'm willing to put my life on the line for my teammates. So I think that'll be good too.
Your LaQuave coach, Brandon Back, told me an interesting thing when I talked to him last week. He said you were a really devout film watcher.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. He said they can always find you watching film.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't say this, but sometimes my teachers catch me watching film in class. But yeah, so I mean, I just love it. It's like playing a video game. It's like watching TV for me. It's just like it's something that comes natural. I mean, I love seeing what people are doing, seeing people's characteristics on film because I mean that's really where you get it. I mean, my dad always says he has a saying, "The big eye in the sky don't lie." I mean, that's the truth. Like whatever you think you may look like on film, that's what it's clear cut. I mean, that's right. What you look like. So I really like keeping that in perspective. The amount of games I've watched is crazy. It should be probably illegal, but
I want to hear what a teacher says to you when he or she catches you on your phone and you're watching film. What is that conversation when all your classmates are sitting there too?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they'll see my computer open, they'll just know. They'll be like, "Cam, not right now. Like, don't watch film right now," or like something like that. Like, you could watch football later. They'll say something like that. So, I mean, they're never like. I mean, some teachers are mad in their own, like in their right. Like that's I would be pretty mad too, I guess. But yeah, I mean, they're always typically they're pretty cool about it, and they're just like, put that away. We're doing other things right now.
So you've got this one football season coming up, and then you'll be out. As we think about your whole career, what stands out during these years at La Cueva, whether it's football related or basketball related or even track and field related?
I don't know exactly like what stands out. I guess I would say like if we were to do what we're supposed to do this year, I guess we'd be remembered as a really good class because we'd go back to back. And so that would be really good. And I mean, hopefully all the other personal accomplishments I got this year I would get them again next year. So that would be nice too.
How do you describe the football culture at La Cueva?
I think it's second to none. I mean, I feel like Coach Back, he does just as well. Like the stuff we do on the field, we do just as good off the field. I mean, I feel like he's a really huge advocate for us being out in the community and like helping the community. He always says help those who's helped us, and so like he's a real huge advocate for that. And so I feel like that's why it's second to none because I feel like ultimately whatever we're going to do on the field, whatever our outcome is going to be, I know that from our program, we're going to have great people and great men come from it because that's what he preaches to us. So.
Look, Coach Back is a serious guy. I know he has a sense of humor in there. Does this guy ever smile? I don't ever see him smile. Does he have a softer side where he smiles?
I would say like, yeah, I mean.
You're laughing, which tells me you guys notice it too.
No, he does. I mean, he's definitely very serious, especially in like a public setting. He's not very like, like very like, yeah. But no, Coach Back is actually one of the funniest people I've ever met. Like he always says some funny stuff during practice. Honestly, I feel like that's when he can really like be his like true self, I guess. And he really he says some funny stuff. I can't say it, but he says some funny stuff. So
we've seen this a lot over the last, and we're almost finished, but we've seen this a lot over the last few years. Elite football players who leave New Mexico to go play football in another state. There are too many examples to go through. I guess I'd be remiss, and I'm a UNM graduate myself, I guess I would be remiss if I didn't ask why that is. Is it the conference? Is it the NIL money that they're offering now? Is it the facilities? What is it that lures, not just you, this could be any number. Like I said, I could probably, if I thought about it, I could probably think of half a dozen at least players, good players, who have left the state to go play Division I football somewhere outside of New Mexico. Why are the state schools, whether it's New Mexico State or whether it's UNM, why is that just not the best option for you guys?
I mean,
and believe me, I'm not looking for you to diss anybody.
Yeah.
I just, I think everybody appreciates that, these Power 5 schools,
Right.
Offer things that UNM and New Mexico State simply cannot.
Right.
But I'd like to get your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is for a lot of guys. There's different things about every place, and I feel like a lot of guys get to see other things outside of what UNM does and what New Mexico State does, and they fall in love with it. I mean, that's kind of what happened to me personally. I fell in love with Tempe in the Phoenix area. Like, I love the way that the city is building and everything, and I just love like the culture. I mean, it fits me more in my personality more.
Right.
New Mexico is always going to be home to me. I mean, I've been here all 17 years, so it's always going to be home to me. But I guess I'm just ready to venture off. Me personally, I'm just ready to venture off and go somewhere else. So,
back in 2005, I was in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I was there to catch up with Alan Branch, who played at Cibola and won a couple of Super Bowls with the Patriots, actually. And he was the first pick of the second round. He turned pro and entered the draft after his junior year at Michigan. That August, I went to see him, and he showed me around the University of Michigan's football facilities. And I was completely in awe of how they look, because I'm familiar with UNM's facilities.
Right.
But as he took me around and showed me their practice fields and their weight room, their locker room, their giant trophy display, and I'm just thinking, if I was a prospect and I looked at this, how could you not be attracted to that kind of facility and history? And I get it, Arizona State maybe doesn't have the same football history, but I understand a little bit about what you mean about facilities and that kind of thing. You see it up close and you're like, wow, it feels right. And I always think, how could a prominent kid from New Mexico, a blue chip kid from anywhere, not go to a school like that and think, yeah, I'm gonna come here?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I mean, there's good things about every place. I mean, I think ultimately guys get out and they see, like kind of what you were saying, they see outside of what UNM and New Mexico State has to offer, and they fall in love with it. I mean, I think that's what ultimately happens. And Mountain West is a good conference. Conference USA, they're a pretty good conference. So I don't think it's, it depends. I mean, ultimately, like for me, I didn't really care about the conference and all that. I mean, I just wanted to play football at the next level. But I ultimately fell in love with Arizona State, and I guess that's where I made my decision.
Right. So real quick, before we let you go here, what are your plans this summer?
Just get better, help prepare my team to go win another ring, and I mean, that's really it.
Okay. Well, Cam, we thank you for joining us. So, once again, Cam Dyer from La Cueva just finished his junior year at La Cueva. He'll be playing senior season at quarterback for La Cueva starting in August. He is the Albuquerque Journal Male Metro Athlete of the Year. We congratulate Cam, who had a fantastic junior season in 3 sports. So, congratulations to you, Cam.
Thank you.
Well earned. And I will see you in August when we get to opening day.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Education and training at Western New Mexico University is accessible from every corner of the land of enchantment, providing limitless opportunities toward success for more than a century. And now, through the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship, tuition and fees are covered for anyone looking to start or start over. Along with free tuition, books are always included for every WNMU student. Assuring your only worry is how far you can actually go. Lift off toward your future and endless potential at WNMU today.
So that's it for the special podcast. Once again, we thank Cam Dyer for coming in from La Cueva. As I said, we'll have a couple of other special podcasts, I think, before the end of the summer, before I get back into football in August. So in the meantime, you can find my podcast on abqjournal.com. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on other platforms as well. And as always, we encourage you to read, hear, watch Jeff Grammer's podcast on Lobo basketball, Sean Ryder's podcast on Lobo football. All of us here are just super committed to giving you guys the best coverage we can. So we thank you for watching. Take care.